I don't know what happened, y'all. I guess I got booted off. So if you can't come back on, I don't know what happened. The weather booted me off. See if I can get back on here. I'm back on. Good gravy. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Hey, yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess because we're getting storms coming in, it booted me. I don't know. Wasn't happy about that, but not much I could do. So I kept trying. Hopefully it'll keep me on now. I mean, it took me out of everything. Thanks for coming back on. I don't know what happened, but I looked up and I thought, oh man, that's off, that went off. Gotta love the weather, eh? Hopefully we can get this done and that doesn't happen again. That doesn't make it fun. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for hopping back on, y'all. I appreciate it. Hey, Becky. Oh, it took my sound out too. Hold on.
Oh, power on.
All right, you should hear me better. It took everything out. Man, can you hear me better now? It's a little frustrating when that happens. You're just getting into the groove of everything and bam. Good. I'm glad you can hear me. The one time I think Ken was doing, he was on a vent and I was out in the other room and he got booted off and I came back to help him get back on and we couldn't get it on the one camera, but I could get it on my phone. So I had to stand here through his whole event holding the phone. The things we do. But hey, it worked, so that's all that matters, right? For those that are just jumping on and didn't see the few minutes before I got booted off, I am using the Dixie Belle Weeping Willow and I lightened it. Hi, Rebecca. And I lightened it up a little bit. So is anybody else going to be getting these storms coming in? We already had some, as I was saying earlier, we already had some rain, but it's supposed to get much more windy in that later. And I can hear it out there already, so I don't know if that's what booted me off totally. But I keep watching everything because you never know. I know Tina lives, like y'all have heard me say before, um, about 35, 40 minutes from me. So I know she's supposed to be getting some rain too. Where did snow come from? Don't want any snow. So what I did to this old piece, is I roughed it up some with some sandpaper, wiped it off, and then we're painting it. Now I'm not sure, and y'all can tell me when I flip it over to there. I'm pretty sure I'll paint the back, but I'm not sure that I'm going to do it here on the live, this back piece. But do I want to paint in here or leave that the wood? Can't decide on that one. What's your all's thoughts? Paint it or leave it the wood. I remember the first couple times that it did happen to me because our internet was a little sketchy, and then I had him, because Ken works for Spectrum, had it rewired and everything. So it's not the internet anymore. It's storming by you now, Cheryl. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting more. I can hear all the wind and that going out there, and I can see that I got a window right here, and the trees are just going. So I'm assuming that's what booted me out. So again, do we want to leave this or paint it? Well, Cheryl, you stay safe because I know in some areas it's supposed to get real, real gnarly. So I figured out, because it's been a long time since I had this kind of a heat tool, I have to keep it kind of close to get it to dry the way I like it. You like the wood part right there? That's what I was kind of thinking. I might just leave that, not paint that. Didn't like the way that was looking. Maddie says paint it. Tina says she likes it with the wood showing. Ah, stay, stay, stay. Hmm. Paint or not to paint this part right here. We got one paint, one not paint. And the good thing about this is when you go to hang it up, it already has the little doohickey there. So while we're discussing the paint or don't paint, we are going to put one of these transfers on there. Anybody else have a thought on paint or no paint? Kathy says paint. So I guess we will be painting. Meantime, while we're going to do that, I'm going to cut this, because this is what's going to go on part of it. So we'll move this up there. Let me turn this on just in case I need it. Everybody says paint, so we will paint. And like I said, I'm going to probably paint the back, but I'll do that later. So who else is expecting all these storms today? I know Cheryl is already getting some of it. We have more coming. Tina hasn't had any yet. We've had some already today here in Louisville, and we have more coming. Fun, fun. Y'all see, if you haven't already, sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I pull in that bottom lip. Don't know why, always have. Being a little weird there, I guess. I think it does look better painted, actually. Good choice, y'all. I was kind of like, I kind of like it with the wood, and then I kind of like it this way, and I think this was the better choice. Some did drip over here, but that's okay because we'll probably paint it later. But let's get it dry. You could use the rain. I'll be more than happy to let you have some. I'm over the rain. It seems like we get a couple days nice, and then it's ah. I asked earlier when you were talking about the Derby if you live in Kentucky. Yes, yes, ma'am. I live just a few blocks, literally, away from Churchill Downs. And as earlier, I don't know if you were on, Sherry, but I was saying it's going to start some picking up with the traffic around here tomorrow on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday it gets really bad, and Saturday is really, really bad. And what they do is a lot of because we're not that far from the expressway, they shut down some of the exits, the on ramps and the exits, and you can only go certain ones, or you can only go one way on or one way off, and it makes it really kind of a pain. So if you live here and you want to go anywhere, you need to go anywhere, you need to leave fairly early in the morning and either get way back before like 6, 7 o'clock, or wait until after that to come back in. Now this whole thing will not fit on here, but we're going to put on as much of it as we can. And I always rub mine down first, because once you put it down, that's where it's going to stay. Okay, I with it all, I got flustered a little there. I looked up and bam, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone. I'm like, what? They did. I've never been to the Derby. My older daughter has been. I have not. I've been over to Churchill Downs. I've been to their museum. I've been to their tour, like of the paddock and everything, but I have never been to the Derby. I have had a mint julep. It is not one of my faves. Some people love them. I do not. I'm not a fan. That is not one of my things. So I figure since I can't get it all the way on here, I'm going to try to get it as best I can on the sides also. We do have a lot of the celebrities and that come in, and some even have horses in the race. Oh yeah? Okay. Good to know. Didn't know that. So right now I'm getting it all on the sides because I want to make sure that gets on there and not pulls up as I'm doing the rest of this. Maybe someday I'll go to the Derby, but I don't mind people. I'm a people watcher. I love to watch people. I love to sit there and just kind of scope them out and that and see what they're, what they're doing and how they're acting and stuff like that. But I'm not a fan of big, huge crowds. And the Derby is a big, huge crowd. I do love seeing the horses, though. We probably will watch some of the races on TV. We'll definitely watch the fastest 2 minutes in sports, which is the Derby race itself. I do like sometimes seeing who has come into town. So if they go up to Millionaires Row, they'll be interviewing a lot of the celebrities in that. And sometimes that's kind of cool to see. All right, now I'm going to pull this up gently and see what stuck and what did not. So far, so good. I can really hear the wind picking up out there again, so I'm getting a little nervous. I want to get booted off again. Okay, so here we have this so far. Now what I'm going to do is put this off to the side because I have a container, so I will put that in a container. And then I'm going to take some white say I was going to take some white, didn't want to come off. And I'm going to take some of the regular weeping willow, but first I'm going to start with some white. And I want to put a little bit here and there. Just a little. Even want to put some on the sides, I believe. Now, I don't want to put too much like right here where the writing is, because I don't want to cover that up. Like the way I hold my palette knife. This I'm not going to do because we are going to put something there and it's going to be pretty much covered, so we don't need to do that. And you really don't need a whole lot when you're doing this, unless you want real big, as I'm going to call them, marks. But I don't want real big, chunky marks. I just want a little bit here and there. And I don't know how much of this we're going to see, so we're going to do some on here. Sherry, are you still on here? And we are going to wipe this off, and we are going to use the regular weeping willow, because I want a little bit of that darker color on here. See if that'll show. It doesn't show as well as I was thinking it would. You can see it kind of faintly, but we'll see. I think if I dry it, it's not going to show up as much as I'd like it. Let's see. Oh, well, maybe it darkens more. Look, can y'all see that? Hi, Casey. So I'm thinking about your little challenge for May. I've never done one. I'm contemplating doing this one. And it has to be in by the 15th, correct? Or before the 15th. I was going to do what I was thinking about doing for the electric keeps flickering, probably will lose. Well, I hope not. So does it have to, it has to be to you before the 15th, correct? This actually shows up much better than I was anticipating. I thought it was going to be a little stronger, but once it's dry, you really can see it. Yeah, send picture me, but don't show anyone else. Okay, because I was considering doing this, and then I saw that you were asking that, and I thought, well, then I'm not going to do it, because if I do it, then they would definitely know who did this. All right, I need to get my buns in gear and get on with it. Can y'all see it? I think that's all I'm going to put on for now anyway. It does, I should have put some on the bottom where I have it. So I may go ahead and try it. It'll be my first one. I just need to get moving. The 15th will be here before I know it. I do need to add a couple down here. I forgot about down here. Y'all didn't holler hard enough. Didn't hear you. Know what I like also about going to garage? Won't get me right. Know what I like about doing repurposing stuff in that is when somebody, you go and buy it and they're like, oh, we went to this one garage sale and they were like, oh, it's this much. And I'm like, that's too much for that. And then some of the stuff that's kind of fairly reasonable and you say, oh yeah, I'm going to repurpose it. What? You're going to repurpose that? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Okay, let's clean this up. Hi, Melissa. How are you? So this is what we have so far, y'all. And I think it looks pretty. I like it better this way than what it was. Now I have some birds. I'm going to step outside my comfort zone and do something. We're going to paint one black. Yes, you heard, black. I am going to use the Dixie Belle Caviar. I'm going to use my little finger to hold him, and hopefully he doesn't go swooshing around. But he's going to be kind of like a blackbird. And these actually are salt and pepper shakers that I got from Cracker Barrel. They were 99 cents. But they're so cute that I figured they could be used for this also. Tired but good? Well, I'm glad you're doing good. We're going to paint this little guy up, and then we're going to paint, wait till you see what color I'm going to paint the other one. Y'all are probably going to go, she's crazy. That's okay, because I am a little bit. I'm okay with that. Sometimes being crazy's fun. Not scary crazy, but you know. Now, the one you really need to look out for is if you ever meet Tina. She's crazy scary. Just kidding, Tina. Thank you, thank you. I ain't done with this blackbird yet. Not yet, not yet. And I did do a little pre-work. I put some Mod Podge on the bird because I didn't have any of the, oh, I can't think of it. It's bonding something or other from Dixie Belle to help make stuff hold on there better. So I just took some Mod Podge and put it on there. So we're going to leave him sit there for a minute. Good thing you're not crazy. Don't let her fool you. Just kidding. Just kidding. Like I said, all of us are a little crazy in some way or another. I'm going to take a little bit of the gilding wax zinc. Take my little bird here. Yes, I like to use my fingers. and just right on where he had like some flower design on him, I'm going over that to give it a little perk up. He's got some on this side. Now on a little bit on his feathers back here, his little tail feathers. So he has a little bit of pop of color. And people want to see me crazy. It takes a lot to get me to be that way, and I mean a lot. Same here. I'm usually pretty status quo, but I mean, as far as getting, I have never really, I don't think, gotten angry, but a few times in my life, and one time was my first husband. Since he is black, I'm going to give him some white eyes. Now, I don't like that, so it's not really going off, so we're going to use the end. There, that's better. We're buffering in and out again. Not a good thing. Hopefully I don't lose y'all. If I do, and I can't get back on because of this wind and that, I will post everything. But we're going to take this little guy right here, and I'm going to use the Deco Art and use the aquamarine because I thought it was such a pretty color. That is true. You can be a little outspoken. I try not to be, but I'm sure we all can be. But I thought this was such a pretty color. Y'all see that? We're painting this bird this color. Could have did like the traditional red birds and bluebirds and that, but I thought I wanted something different, and I like this color, so I thought let's give it a whirl. And I'm sure if y'all haven't already been to a Cracker Barrel, they usually always have some 99¢, or at least right now they do, the 99¢, salt and pepper shakers. And these birds I know were a big hit. But they had all kinds of things. Little eggs and frying pans and refrigerators and like a riding lawnmower and that. I think that's a pretty color, don't y'all? You can say no if you don't. I'm good. Hi, Ruben. Thanks for sprinkling. A baby crow. Oh, what was that one bird that I had here out in the backyard? They're mean little suckers. Oh, I can't think of what the name of them are. Thanks, Tina. What are they're birds? They got long beaks and they're mean. Well, I only have my backyard to let my dogs out, and I went to go let my dogs out, and there's this little sucker out there, and it's coming back, trying to come at me, and then I realized that its baby also fell into the yard, and I'm like, oh my Lord. So I can't get the dogs outside at all. So I called Kenny. He was at work, and my grandson used to work at the same part of Spectrum that he did. And they said, well, we'll be off in a couple hours. I'll come over, gear up, and go out there and get the little bird out and be protected. So when the mother comes to dive bomb, yes, I think it was a blue jay, he would be protected and could get it out. So in the meantime, I gotta, the dogs can't go out because they would want to attack the dogs because she's trying to also protect her babies. So my grandson and Kenny comes home. My grandson has several hoodies on, pulls it all over his head, has these gloves on, pulls the hood really tight. You basically can only see his eyes. And he goes out there with like a little plastic container to scoop the little bird up and try to get it out of the yard so that and the mother don't dive bomb him. It was funny to watch him do it, but it wasn't funny that the mother was like, "Yeah, I don't think so." You remember that? Yeah. It was something. It was like, okay, miss, you're in our territory. But what was surprising is the neighbor has several cats, so I would have thought the cats would have just went. But from what my understanding is, these birds can be nasty. So I'm going to take, if I can figure out, there it is. Better close this up. I had the lid on it. I could see me just saying, yep, there it goes. Take a little bit of the silver gilding wax, just a little bit, and do the same thing to kind of make the little designs be a little more prominent on Mr. Birdie or Miss Birdie. So it looks like that. Hi, Christy. Thanks for sprinkling. Oh, Sherry, it was funny. And somewhere I have the picture with him all bundled up to the gills to go out there and get this little bird out of there so we could let dogs out. Because she was having no part of it. So see, I put some a little bit on the tail also. You know what? Maybe I'll put a little on his beak. Just a little. And since this one doesn't, and I didn't do it with the other, we're going to put a little silver on his, just so his beak sticks out. I like the gilding wax. My two favorites. I like the zinc, and I love I love the zinc, and I love the silver. Now, I do have to get it off my fingers a little bit. But now, we are going to take, we're going to put our little bird nest up there. I had a smaller one, but it's too small, and I want it to be so you can actually see it up here. I don't want it to be swallowed by. Well, hello, Cindy. You're never late. You did miss the story of my grandson bundling up to go out and get a bird out of the backyard because the mama bird, a blue jay, was trying to attack the dogs, and I tried to go out there, and it was like, nah, 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 not happening. Hi, Devana. I had my whole system got booted out a little bit ago. I got totally kicked out, but I'm grateful that everybody came back. I'm holding that there just to give it a little. Now I do want to try to add, and I do say try because I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm going to take some Spanish moss and put on here. Thanks for sprinkling. I appreciate it. I love the moss, but it sure is messy. I'm thinking taking a little bit around the nest and maybe have a little bit hanging off. That's what I'm thinking. If we have to add a little more, we will. But right now, I'm just going to use this, and that might be enough. As long as it don't stick to my finger. So if anybody is on here and they're on their page and you're not following them, please follow them. It helps everybody's page if you do. And we all greatly appreciate it. So what do you think about that? Just having just a little bit laying down and around. If you think we need more, we can add more. But for the moment, I'm going to put it back there at least and clean some of this off of here. Normally, I don't throw my little scraps away because you can always use it, but that's good. Hi, Grace. How are you? Thank you for spreading the blessings. Appreciate it. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to add our little birds in here. I think I'm going to put one in and one out, kind of like that, or maybe vice versa. Maybe we'll put the black one in here. I think I'll put the black one in here and put this one up here. What do you think about that way? I could squeeze both of them in there, but it'd be a tight fit. But I think maybe putting one in and one out. Thanks, Grace. Gotta look at that again. Y'all tell me. One in, one out, black in, black out. There's the black out and the blue in. I think the black out are in. So I'm going to glue him in there. Ah, too late, Tina. No, you guys. Spaghetti. Good thing he didn't use the good glue. The real hot sticking glue. Star Bond or Stick Fast. Ah! You didn't see that. I was telling them earlier, for those that may have just popped on. Well, that's what I figured, but I figured I guessed wrong. I figured y'all would say black in. But the one time I was on my live and I was doing painting and the diamond dust, and I had them kind of close together, and you guessed it, I put my fingers right in the paint thinking it was the diamond dust. Mm-mm-mm. So I think that looks pretty cute with it a little bit hanging off. But y'all, thanks for sticking with me. This is my project for today. So we did a little bit of painting, we did a little bit of the transfer, we did a little bit of the palette knife. And again, for anybody that has never tried it, it's the Deco Art Texture Dimensional Metallic Paint. And this one is the aquamarine that's on the bird. They have several different colors. We use the Dixie Belle Caviar. We use Folk Arts White Adirondack. We used the Weeping Willow paint, and I lightened it up for this, and then took some of the regular Weeping Willow not lightened up and put on there. And then, of course, we used our gilding wax. We used the silver, and we used the zinc. Thank you all. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Sherry. One last time, if anybody on here is not following anybody, please follow them. It helps our pages out, and we appreciate it. Oh, we could, I don't think we need it, but we could add some floral in here. Yay or nay to the floral before we go? Hi, Loretta. I didn't see you, so welcome. We could add floral. Yay or nay? Could put some down there, or we could put a little bit up here at the top. As is? Okay. Thanks, Maddie. All right. Anybody having storms coming in? Thank you, Devonna. I appreciate it. And if there's anybody else on here that's on their page, if you're not following them, please follow them. They would appreciate it also. But anybody having storms, please, please be safe. Hopefully, y'all don't lose power. Lord knows we don't need that. And I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate each and every one of you very, very much. You are the highlight of my day, besides my dogs. And I guess Can. Thanks, Cindy. Sunshine and windy there. I would take that. Have a good rest of the day and evening. Stay safe in the storms, and I will see you all tomorrow. Let's see if we can get some hearts for you. Oh, it's not going to do hearts anymore? What the heck? Anything? I guess they're not doing them anymore. I don't know. Anyway, have a good rest of the day, everybody. Thank you. Good night, all. Bye.